immediately. Is that right? How's Caroline doing? Is she doing good? Should Caroline be replaced?
No. That's up to you, sir.
A sweaty, giddy Trump on Air Force One last night, flying back from Israel, talking about his press secretary Caroline Leavitt's lips moving like a machine gun. But before we get to that clip, if you get something out of this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hey, while you're at it, ring the bell notification. The whole press gaggle on Air Force One flying back to Washington from Israel was wall-to-wall chaos.
Thank you very much. So this was really a historic day, to put it mildly. Wasn't it amazing? Even that last meeting, when you see the heads of those countries, those are serious countries. It's just thousands of years, nothing's been done. It's the whole thing with the Arabs, Jewish people, this and everybody. It's just never been done before. And there's a certain mystery to the Middle East. I mean, look, it's only because of ratings. You know, you're only as good as the ratings, right? If they weren't getting ratings, your people at Fox would...
You're only as good as the ratings, he says. Meanwhile, 100,000 Palestinians are dead.
Using the Insurrection Act?
Well, I could use it.
He floats using the Insurrection Act again, of course.
Wanted to, I could use it. Look, that's a very simple answer. I'm allowed to use the Insurrection Act. In fact, that was on Stephanopoulos today, his Sloppodopoulos show. They asked sloppy Chris Christie about the Insurrection Act. He said, well, if you're talking about the Insurrection Act, he's got the absolute right to use that. And he said a couple of things about that. He said 50% of the presidents that served in office have used the Insurrection Act.
And he says 50% of presidents have done it. Totally untrue. Asked what message he had for Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, Trump says, quote, he should be begging me for help, not asking, begging. Trump loves to use the sort of dog metaphor, begging like a dog.
Speaking to Governor J.B. Pritzker tomorrow, do you have any messages or questions for him?
Well, I think he should beg for help because he's running a bad operation and he's letting people be killed in his city because he doesn't want in Chicago. And I love Chicago. Chicago can be a great city again, and very quickly. I would have Chicago cleaned out, the criminals removed, we would remove them. You know, in D.C. we took out 1,700 career criminals, hard-line criminals. That's why it's so good right now. D.C. setting records the other way. It's never been so safe. And the restaurants have never done better business. They're opening up new restaurants. They were closing restaurants, now they're opening new restaurants.
Then a brief detour talking about Bill Clinton, giving him credit, Trump that is, for ending the war.
What's your reaction to President Bill Clinton giving you credit for ending the war?
Well, look, I've always liked Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with him. He used to be a friend of mine. Came to my wedding, you know. So did she. A lot of people don't know that. But, no, I've always liked him. I thought it was very nice, actually. And what is he doing? He's telling the truth. Because nobody else has been able to do it. I'm talking about the Middle East, yes.
And that's when Trump shifts gears from foreign policy to what I can only describe as sexual weirdness. He's mid-sentence, watch this, praising Erdogan, calling him tough, and bragging that NATO calls him to fix things. And he suddenly asks, how's Caroline? How's Caroline doing? Should she be replaced? Everybody sort of laughs awkwardly. And then he says, nobody wants that. Nobody wants her to be replaced. She does a great job. And those lips, they move like a machine gun. F***ing weird.
Mr. President, I wanted to ask you about your conversations with world leaders today. You said that everybody is unified over your plan, but we heard from President Sisi calling for a two-state solution and independent Palestinian state.
You're talking about a different plan. I'm talking about something very much different. We're talking about rebuilding Gaza. I'm not talking about single state or double state or two state. We're talking about the rebuilding of Gaza.
What's the road ahead for governing Gaza?
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, a lot of people like the one-state solution. Some people like the two-state solution. So we'll have to see. I haven't commented on that.
How do you see bridging that gap? Because you have the Arab countries.
At some point, I'll decide what I think is right, but I'd be in coordination with other states and other countries.
And are you satisfied? I mean, some people might say it feels premature declaring peace for the whole Middle East. 3,000 years of peace.
Premature? Why? You want people to be killed? What do you want, another 400,000 people to be killed? Is that what you're looking for?
But in terms of the risks in Gaza, we're already seeing
Risk. So you mean let them fight on for another couple of years and let some more buildings fall down on top of people and keep it going? No, we did it the right way. We did it. I think our timing was perfect, actually.
And in terms of
You don't really mean that. You mean you want them to fight on, right?
I'm just asking about the phase 2 of the negotiations and how confident you are that those can get underway.
You know, we have a lot of power. That was a power room. Those people, those are the richest countries. I think now with tariffs, I think we're the richest country in the world, actually. The United States, we're taking in hundreds of millions of dollars. But those are, really seriously rich countries, and they can handle it.
Some of those players, and particularly Erdogan, they also help in the war between Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, Erdogan can. He's respected by Russia. Ukraine, I can't tell you about, but he is respected by Putin. And he's a friend of mine, you can see. Why? I get along with the tough ones. I don't get along with the weak ones. I get along with the tough ones. I don't know what that is, but Erdogan's been great with me. When NATO has a problem with Erdogan, which they often do, they call me to talk to him. And I've never failed in working it out like immediately. Is that right? How's Caroline doing? Is she doing good? Should Caroline be replaced?
No.
That's up to you, sir.
It'll never happen.
Nobody wants to
I said she does a great job.
Thank you.
Do you want to elaborate on the countries?
And those lips, they move like a machine gun, right?
Do you want to elaborate on the countries you consider weak?
They really are? Okay, what?
Do you want to comment on the leaders you consider weak who are in that room?
No, I won't comment on that, but you know probably who they are.
Just
I have an idea.
before we...
I don't know. There were a couple in the room. But overall, I thought that was an amazing group of people. I don't think they've ever seen an assemblage like that between power, money, et cetera, et cetera. There's never been anything like that. So but you know what? I have to, because the plane is going to take off.
Are you hosting Zelensky at the White House on Friday?
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, President Trump.
Have a good time. Thank you, everybody.
Trump doesn't even acknowledge that anyone is uncomfortable because he only thinks about himself, and they try to sort of relieve the tension. Trump then basically ignores the question and ends the presser like a psycho. And after a 13-minute gaggle on Air Force One, where he's bragged about his crowd sizes, compared Pritzker to a dictator, threatened to use military force on U.S. cities, and sexualized his own spokesperson, all while cruising back from Israel to D.C. Dude, this one was a weird one. What do you guys think? Creepy? Are they just having fun? Are they having an affair? Is this just normal Trump being Trump? Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment. I read all the comments. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.